Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Whiskey Hour podcast, where our aim is to educate, innovate, and entertain the masses with positivity, humor, and fact-based opinion on your favorite everyday sports topics. Oh, yeah, and with a glass of whiskey. We're brought to you by the Game Changer Sports Network. If you enjoy vibing with us, don't forget, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any high-profile content updates. I'm your host, Big Phil. I'm joined by my man, Eric and Jason. Say what's up to the people, baby.
What's going on? What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, the spice and flavor of this evening's episode is brought to you by none other than your boy JJ McLovin.
Hey, without further ado, gentlemen, let's get right into it. So, we had a very busy weekend, right? The NFL is back. NBA playoffs is in full swing. Let's start with the NFL. A recap of Sunday. So, some of the games that really caught me by surprise. Well, first was the Washington football team. They got a dub the first week. My New Orleans Saints, they won. Right, Kansas City Chiefs picked up where they left off, same with Baltimore. But hey, Eric, so how do you feel about this last weekend that passed, man? Tell me about it.
Man, a lot of strange things happen, but I love it. I love everything about it, man. And one thing I got to point out, man, is the intangibles I don't think are quite there yet for Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow proved that he can play at this level. I think he did. And you know, being a New England guy, it surprised me, man. It didn't really surprise me. I know what Cam's capable of, but man, that game, I was happy. I was smiling all Sunday. I couldn't stop it, and it sounds bittersweet to say it, but I'm kind of happy that the Saints beat the Bucks, man.
Yeah, who that?
I kind of am. I mean, you go back to the fact that Tom left and the way he left it, it's still like a kick to the nuts, man. It still is. But also another thing that we learned from this past week was. I don't know. Phil's going to like this, but the Cowboys have the worst O-line I've ever seen in my life.
Tyrone Smith, who? What's up with that O-line, Jason?
I'll get to it when it's my turn.
But I don't know. Overall, it was a great weekend, man. It was a really, really, really good weekend. A lot of good things happened. You know, Kyler Murray showing out. That was a great win. You know, it was a great weekend to have football back, and all the naysayers saying they're boycotting the NFL, and the NFL had higher ratings than they ever have. Like, man, just stop doing this, you know?
You know, I got to pick fun at you for saying that Joe Burrow doesn't have the intangibles, but I'll put a pin in that for right now. Jason, man, give me your thoughts on this past weekend of sports, man.
Washington National Football Team. Those guys should have changed that name about 7 or 8 years ago. Because let me tell you something. As corny as that name sounds, listen, guys. Haskins, with his crappy 26.2 QBR from last year, well, it may be a thing of the past, at least for right now. And Washington Eagles, you lost to the Washington National Football Team. And if you're a fan of the Eagles,
hey, look, man, I'm going to say right now, the writing is definitely on the wall for Carson Wentz. That guy just can't stay healthy. The man can't get right. Like, Jalen Hurts, I'm glad they drafted Jalen Hurts because that was the perfect scenario. He fell to them in their laps. That was the perfect scenario.
You know who the Eagles play next, right?
Who's that?
Do you know who they play next? Jason, you know who they play.
He's quiet over there. It must be them Cowgirls. It must be them Cowgirls.
Oh, that's right. Dadgummit, you're right. I've just looked at my schedule. You know, I did not, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I honestly didn't get to week 2 because I'm still very sad about week 1. Let me say this real quick. McCarthy, I love you, buddy. And I know you went for the win, and I don't fault you for trying to go for that win at that moment. I really don't. I like your aggressive style. But sometimes you got to kick the field goal. You just do. And you got to live it for that overtime and take it to overtime.
You guys
I will say this, though. When they threw to Gallup and Gallup caught that ball and they tried to get in that stupid offensive interference. No offensive interference. Stop it.
What did I say from day one, Jason?
That game.
What did I say from day one? I always said, I don't know how much I trust Mike McCarthy as a coach. I always said, how much was Aaron Rodgers' success because of Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame caliber talent, or how much of it was because Mike McCarthy's genius as a coach. I don't know. As of right now, he's 0-1 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
but a couple of things, man. Honestly, I think the Cowboys are going to be okay. Listen, week 1 is week 1. They didn't have a preseason. Nobody had a preseason. So week 1 is what it is, week 1. And let me tell you something. The Cowboys had the chances to win that football game. I'm not worried about the Cowboys. I'm really not. The man went aggressively, and people have gone aggressively before. And it is what it is. It just didn't pan out that go around. But you know what? It is what it is. And we learned what the Cowboys got. And I think the Cowboys got a good combination. They just need to settle it. Let me tell you something. Aldon Smith is back, baby. The man got a sack. He got 2 tackles for losses. I ain't worried about it. Back, baby. We back. Trust that. Trust and believe the Cowboys will come up next week against the Eagles. I'm not worried about it. The Washington football team can beat them. I ain't worried about it. Secondly,
hold up, Jay. What you got, Eric? Hold on, Jay.
They don't play the Eagles. That's why I was trying to tell y'all. Do you know who the Eagles play next week? Why we talked about Carson Wentz for a minute, man. They play the Rams.
Well, that was a horrible segue.
Do you realize what I'm trying to say is Carson Wentz is going to be completely like he's going to be shook to the teeth. Like it's no more. If Carson Wentz survives next week's game against the Rams, I'm sorry. There's videos of Aaron Donald throwing around the Cowboys offensive line like small children. And to think that Carson Wentz is going to be able to handle that and deal with that, no, it's a wrap. Jalen Hurts is going to have to come into a bruised and battered team and try to figure something out. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think that anyone could survive a hit by Aaron Donald, Carson Wentz, or Drew Brees, anybody. So I mean, that's what I expect from the 2-time defensive player of the year.
I see Carson Wentz on the IR next week, but that's okay. Hey, the Falcons are who we got next week. The Falcons. Hey, that's a good team too, man. Falcons. I'm not looking past them for nothing, man. But I still believe Cowboys are for real. We're gonna come out and handle a bit. I'm not worried about that. But I'll tell you something that's crazy. That New Orleans team they look pretty good. I'm not gonna get it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, what I learned from that game are 2 things. Number 1, preseason really does matter, even for Tom Brady, because they did not look in sync in that game. Brady was lost, and I've never seen Brady lost before. But I know 2 things about Brady. Number 1 is if you get him off his game, he's off the game. Number 2 is if you put pressure and sacks on him, he's done. And it's been seen time and time again. And Atlanta knows better than anybody. When they had in the Super Bowl, in the first 2 quarters, they dominated Tom because they got the pressure and the sacks on him. But when that 3rd quarter came around, they relaxed and they went into preventive mode. And when they went to prevention mode, Tom tore them apart. And here's the deal about Tom Brady. He's not a mobile quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. He's a pocket guy all the way, true and true. And
nobody argues that. No one ever argues that.
Yeah, no, that's my point. So if you put pressure on him, that's the recipe to beating Tom Brady. Put pressure on him, and he'll fold like a clam. If you give him time to breathe, hold on, watch it. If you give him time to breathe, he'll pick you apart all day long. And that's what happened with New Orleans. New Orleans kept that pressure on Tom. And obviously, Mike Evans actually, in that one interception that he actually threw, he threw 2 interceptions, but the interception he threw, Mike Evans did not run that route fully. And honestly, it just led to a
whoa, stop. Don't blame
it. That's what it is.
No, time out on Jay. Eric, what you got?
You got it. I can't. Man, I watched the game. You can't. Here's the thing. I'm going to start my little thing right now with the fact that Tom's a GOAT. He played for the Patriots 20 years. We love him. I love him to death.
He's a GOAT, but keep going.
But leaving us was kind of screwy. The whole schematic of it, I don't know. I wasn't there. But A, he should have retired last year. B, Mike Evans ran that route perfect, saw the defense, and he kept running. Therefore, the only thing that happened was Tom Brady can't check coverage like that no more. He's not as fast as he used to be. Just because he's not mobile doesn't mean that he has to be fast in other ways. He has to be fast with his mind.
Your processing speed has to be quicker.
And it's I don't know, man.
Well, hey, Jason brought up a good segue when he mentioned the Falcons. So let's head over to Seattle. So Seattle kind of pretty much picked back up where they left off at with Russell Wilson. With Dangerous, that guy's explosive, man. So with the additions of Josh Gordon and Jamal Adams, and we saw how they pretty much dismantled the Falcons. What is the ceiling for the Seattle team?
If it keeps moving the way it's moving and like a well-oiled machine, it's the Lombardi Trophy. That team is nuts, man. And I don't care what anybody says. Josh Gordon, when he's given the opportunity, that man can shine. It's just all about when it's all time with him. But Jamal Adams is always going to be Jamal Adams, dude. And that defense has always been clicking. But Russell Wilson's just unreal, man.
Hey, before I give it to you, Jason, here's some quick stats on Russell Wilson from last week's game. He was 31 of 35 for 322 yards and 4 TDs. He also, for good measure, chipped in about 30 rushing yards with a 9.7 yards per carry average. Russell Wilson is legit. So, Jason, how do you feel about the way Seattle played last weekend?
I'm sorry. Say it again one more time.
No, I was saying, how do you feel about Seattle, how they played last weekend with the additions of Josh Gordon and whatnot?
Here's the deal, man. Seattle played good. Metcalf, hey, the big body Metcalf, he did well. Tyler Lockett did well. The running game was spot on, and Carson. The guys did well, man. Matter of fact, Jamal Adams, which is a recent pickup. Let me tell you something. That was a good pickup on their end. And I said it before. Jamal Adams and Josh Gordon are giving the keys to this team becoming a super team. And here's what it was. Jamal Adams, 12 tackles, 8 solo, 1 sack, 2 QB hits. Not bad for a guy on game one. Okay?
All right. With no preseason.
Hey, here's the deal. Josh Gordon hasn't been fully reinstated yet, and so he's coming up. But I'm going to tell you right now, when Josh Gordon hits it, and they got a legitimate QB1, it's going to be bad for Tyler Lockett, which is my fantasy wideout. But for the team itself, I'm telling you, Seattle's a real deal. And I hate to say it because I'm a Cowboys fan. Tried and true, baby. But
hey, real quick.
Recognize greatness. And greatness recognize greatness.
Not to cut you off, Jason, but hey, Elizabeth, I know you hate the jersey, but you know what time it is, baby. It's Lakers time, purple and gold. We'll get to that later on in the segment. But hey, all right. So this is a portion I was really interested about. So what rookies are going to have the biggest impact on their team this year, not named Joe Burrow, because obviously he's a quarterback, the ball's in his hand, he's a decision maker, but take him away. What are some good high-impact rookies from last weekend? I'll go first, man. I won't lie to you. To me, still, the two biggest impact rookies that I have, one was Chase Young. I think he had a phenomenal game for Washington. But number two, I still can't get past Clyde the Dry Edwards-Helaire. You know what I mean? He had a phenomenal game, over 120-plus rushing yards. He had a touchdown for good measure. To me, if you could create the perfect player for the perfect offense, Clyde is the perfect running back to fit Andy Reid's offense, man. What do you got, Jason? What do you think?
Hey, look, man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 137 on the yards, touchdown, a little bit in the passing game. The guy was just spot on, man. And one thing about them Kansas City Chiefs, who got back 20-22 from the Super Bowl, and then they're going to add Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Andy Reid. I tip my fedora off to you, baby. My Tom Landry fedora is being tipped. You're doing the right things. You're making the right moves. Kansas City Chiefs, future dynasty, maybe.
I gotta go. I gotta go with Helaire on that one as well with y'all guys. I gotta agree with that because
and Chase Young, by the way, is my other one. Chase Young.
That offensive impact is huge, and I never thought this is the reason why I pick him is because I never thought that somebody else could enter that team and that roster and have an impact the way he did. So for me to watch that and watch what he did, it just honestly, man, it was shocking the way that they used him and how much trust they had in him and gave him those opportunities. And when what's the old saying? When you're given the chance, man, go up people's necks. I can't believe what he did. That's just crazy.
Hey, to our man Dustin Terrell. Hey, I agree. James Robinson from Jacksonville had a phenomenal game as RB1 for Jacksonville, man. He had about 60 rushing yards, about 56 of those yards coming after contact. So I don't know if he's quite Fournette, but he definitely kind of eased the minds of some worrying Jacksonville fans. It's most definitely.
I got just one thing to say, Dustin Terrell. Your boy did well. You did well against the Colts. I tip my fedora off to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I really wanted to point out one thing. Gardner Minshew!
That man is a beast. That man is a beast.
Jim. You look like the boy from Globo Gym, but you know what? And lies the path to victory through Minshew we trust.
Yeah. That man's always been a winner. Also, just a quick update on everybody who's watching. Celtics are up in 29-18. Thank you.
Like I said, you know what time it is. But hey, as you all know, our show is titled the Whiskey Hour Podcast. So every day, Mr. Dustin, he said 19 for 20, 0 interceptions, 3 TDs. Hey, the man was big time, okay?
It's that mustache, bro.
The man was big time. I got to give it to him.
Sunglasses, it's the headband, it's that mustache. It's all of it. Who doesn't love this guy?
Dustin, I'm going to say this, right? Super Bowls aren't won in week 1. So I'm going to let y'all have it this week. You know, well, let's see what happens next week.
It's that mustache and those bush lights, man.
But hey, like I was saying earlier, right? Our show is called the Whiskey Hour Podcast. So every week around the 20-minute mark, we want to discuss our whiskey of the week. So, Jason, Eric, you guys will go first. What are y'all sipping on tonight?
Tonight, I have this very beautiful bottle made by Cedar Ridge.
Ooh.
It's the quintessential signature blend, and it's a single malt whiskey. And it's very, very, I just love smell. It's such an oaky, earthy smell to it. And it's smooth. It's just smooth, and it's almost as good as my High West. So I don't know. It's going to be tough to beat. We'll see how the rest of the bottle tastes, though.
Hey, that's some high praise, Jason. What you got over there, man?
Hey, listen, man. I wanted to be known. I hooked my boy up, and he got that beautiful Cedar Ridge because I sent it to him because I love Eric, and Eric is our official connoisseur of whiskey. What do I got tonight? Well, because I sent my best crap to Eric, I'm going to take the Voodoo Child of Crown Vanilla.
Oh,
I got Crown Vanilla.
Okay.
My boy's got Cedar Ridge, so I'm okay with my Crown Vanilla.
Hey, guys, I kept it classy. I think last week I had a Gentleman's Jack, but this week I'm bringing it back full circle. Eric mentioned it before. I'm rocking the Cedar Ridge. I'm chasing it with some good old Pepsi. Is that pretty smooth, actually? I normally drink it on the rocks.
See, I have a couple bottles of those that Cedar Ridge. That's their regular. I would. That's just their mainstream bottle of whiskey. But it's some good stuff, man. That is some good stuff.
No, it's pretty good. But hey,
Slipknot version of Cedar Ridge. Yeah, Slipknot's got a version of that Cedar Ridge, and I don't want to open it because I feel like it's like a souvenir. But I
didn't want to. I want you guys to pay attention to something real quick, and everybody watching. I didn't want to open this because this label is very. It's very. I don't know. It's very old school. It's very basic, and it's neat. It's very neat. I like the presentation, the bottle. It's just a very good whiskey. It really is, and it is batch number 1.
Well, it looks like some pretty fine liquor, but hey, while our adrenaline's still pumping, let's switch over to the NBA. So, do we secretly want a Lakers versus Celtics throwback championship matchup? As you can tell, me and Eric are already repping our sets right now. I'm a Lakers fan, Kobe fan, die true. And by the way, rest in peace, Kobe, Giannis, and the rest of those guys on that flight. Yeah. But it's Lakers all day. Eric, I gotta hear from you, baby. I gotta hear it. What you think?
So for me, it's gotta go. It's gotta go to the Lakers. Everybody's gonna be hoping for this, man. I'm sorry. This whole playoffs, Kawhi hasn't impressed me. Paul George hasn't impressed me. I don't know. For me, I'm a diehard Celtics fan. Been one since I could walk. In watching that organization and awkwardly being a Celtics fan, but loving Kobe his whole career, which is weird. People hated me for it, but to watch those two teams, that rivalry, that historical rivalry, come at one and clash again, and you clashing with, our modern day, our 2020 go of the NBA, LeBron James playing with the Lakers and clashing with. I say it all the time. People tell me I'm stupid, but you're coming at the young one coming up, man. Tatum is just this. There's no ceiling for him, and every time I watch him, may he rest in peace. But I watch a lot of flashes of Kobe and the way he played and controlled the game, and I think Jason Tatum. I think it's too early right now. But I think in a couple of years, we'll be talking about him a lot more than we do, and he'll be in the finals. But I think he needs this. He needs it, and it'll be a 7-game series. I'm not going to say who's going to win, but I'll tell you who I want to win. I want the Celtics to win, but it'll be what Boston needs to help continue their growth. And I mean, who wouldn't want to see that?
Well, you know what? Hey, I'm going to be a little more bolder than you. I'm going to say he's going to win. I got the Lakers in 7, but this is why, right? The Celtics are a very good team, but you said it best, Eric. They're young.
Yeah.
They're very talented, and obviously they're running roughshod over the East right now, so they're more than capable. But to me, it's just not their time yet. I think Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they need a tad bit more seasoning. You know, I think Kyrie Irving kind of throw a wrench in their development a bit, but Kemba Walker, Brad Stevens, that good locker room presence they have is kind of helping get them back on track. But I think in about 2 or 3 more, I say about 2 more years, maybe 3, then I could comfortably say it's definitely beam time as far as whose turn it is to win the championship. But right now, I think the firepower between LeBron, AD, Danny Green, Rondo, Morris, Kuzma, all them guys, I think that collective unit right now is tough to beat, man. What you got, Nick?
It's wild.
All right, this is what I got to say. Since neither one of the both of us were alive back in 1980s, between 80 to 84, when the old school Magic Johnson, which Tross, even you weren't alive when Magic Johnson was playing. Neither were you, Eric, when Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish. Were you there?
I was alive. I was watching it.
Okay, I forgot, Eric. You look younger than your age. Okay, I'm gonna give you a bypass on that one. What I'm saying is simply this rivalry is not so much, and I hate to say this, but this Celtics Lakers. Oh my God! If the Celtics weren't as far along as they were, then I would be rooting for the Clippers. I would.
Why?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you why. Because if the Celtics weren't here, then this history wouldn't be here. But the history is here. The Lakers are in the finals. The Celtics are in the finals of their conferences. So that means that this is a possibility. So that means I'm not rooting for the Clippers because of it. And I'm not rooting for the Heat because of it. Because you two guys, respectively, are in your conference finals. So naturally, I'm going to root for this because I'm old school. I'm older than both of you.
Just like I said.
Back in the day when Bird was going against Magic and McHale was going against James Worthy. And, you had Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whatever you want to call him, going against Robert Parrish. I was there.
That's why I'm saying it's historical. Anybody that watches basketball wants to see it.
I'm not a millennial by any means, and I don't have this millennial basketball and this new school basketball and this whatever it is, shooting the 3-pointers and doing the dunk, but no mid-range jumper. I'm old school. I want to see an old school Lakers and an old school Boston just hash it out in some Converse tennis shoes.
Well, hey, I guess the Rockets are old school too because they still ain't winning the championship no time soon. Well, hey, we got to move on, fellas. Next topic. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis. So apparently he unfriended all of his friends on social media. And so what do you guys think? Do you think he's staying in Milwaukee or think he's next to fight a coup?
He's gone. He's gone. And you know why he's gone? And man, I hate to I hate James Harden so much. For what I don't even know why I don't like him, but I hate to go back to what he said. And I said, he's stupid for saying that. But I believe it now, man. He said, I wish I was 7 feet tall and could run and jump.
I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. I don't have the advanced stats pulled up. But what is Giannis's game, right? He doesn't have a good shot.
It's nothing. I used to ride in the coattails of Giannis last year and say, man, he's nuts. He's powerful. But guess what? The league saw him play, and then they realized how to shut him down. He's not that impressive anymore. If he was that impressive, if the Bucks were that impressive, they would have done something. They did nothing. Middleton failed. Bledsoe failed. Everybody failed. They all failed for whatever reason. I don't know, but that team is not something everybody holds a candle to like everybody does. I'm telling you, I'm more scared of the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference than I am of the Milwaukee Bucks.
And let's not get it confused. Right quick, Jay. Let's not get it confused. We aren't saying that Giannis isn't dominant. He's a very dominant player.
Oh, yeah.
But what we're saying is that when you talk about skill level,
he needs intangibles.
He's not. I don't think he has the greatest skill level per se. He's a very dominant player. He's 7-footer, could put the ball on the ground, average 20 in his sleep. But skill wise, like Jason, go ahead, Jay. You got it.
Let me say this. I don't know if you two have lost your minds or not since the last time we had a conversation in private, but I'm going to take it public on the Whiskey Hour right here, right now. When I told you about Hakeem Olajuwon versus Shaquille O'Neal.
What's going on, Brandon?
No.
How you doing?
Say what I got to say because I didn't say nothing when y'all was talking. I'm going to get my piece.
Hey, Jason, speak to the people.
Oh, Brandon Herrera. Hey, buddy. Hello, man. I'm sorry. You just kind of caught me in my hyper moment because right now we're having a heated conversation about Giannis and what Giannis does.
Hyper moment? Your entire life is hyper.
I love you, Jake. I love everything about you, but not right now. And I go back to my momentary. Listen, guys, you were talking about Shaquille O'Neal being a dominant center. He could dunk. He had presence. He can defend at the paint. That's exactly what Giannis does.
Nope, not even close. Not even close.
Between Giannis and Shaq.
Not even close.
Shaq can't make a free throw to save his life.
He didn't have to. Not even close. Giannis.
Is that a serious question, Jason?
They're the same skill set wise. I hate to say it. Skill set wise, Giannis and Shaq are the same. Neither one of those guys are good beyond the arc or up to the arc. Hell, neither one of them are good to the free throw line.
But Giannis is leaving. Giannis is leaving because he doesn't have the right intangibles. It doesn't work at the Bucks. He has people that let him down, and that's why he's going to leave.
No, I get it. Okay, and what you said, Eric, is true, and I'm not disagreeing with you one bit. So here's what I'm saying: Giannis basically said to the Bucks, "I'm going to cut off everybody.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of my Facebook."
Hold up. You just skipped over. We can't just skip over the fact that you said Giannis and Shaq are comparable. We can't just skip over that.
Listen, Phil. We're not even.
Hey, listen, Phil. If this was a 2-hour show, I would give you all the time you want. But we only got 1 hour, so just let me have my little piece, and you can tell it on episode part 2, Whiskey Hour part 2 to be continued. Eric,
both of y'all. We're not even going to touch base on it because it's Jay's outlandish thought. We're going to let him have that thought. That's why he's here.
That's what I wanted to say.
That's why he's here.
This is every week. I don't know why y'all hate me so
hold up, fellas. We got some new viewers. Same stuff to Nathaniel and to
Nathaniel. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Nate the Great. Hey, that's Nate the Great right now.
Hey, Dustin said he couldn't shoot free throws either.
He couldn't shoot free throws. Hey, Dustin, and I agree with you. Nathaniel, watching the Heat and thought this game.
Nathaniel, what's the score right now? What's the score right now in the Heat?
Hey, let me finish this thought. I got to finish this thought. Giannis, if Milwaukee's come out and said that they're going to give him Giannis, they basically said, we'll give you whatever you want. Stay here. We'll give you whatever you want. Giannis is like, I don't want to hear it because I didn't cut you out of Facebook. I'm going to tell you right now, Giannis is kind of being immature in the handling of the process. But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. One, I know this. Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee. Number two, Milwaukee is going to give him the assets he needs by all means necessary. Now, if they can't get him to come, they can't get him to come. But I don't think money's going to be the issue. I think they're going to go after people to support him. Maybe Chris Paul. Hello, Chris Paul. I've been saying this all along. Maybe he goes to Milwaukee and he helps out Giannis and gives him leadership, which we all know Milwaukee needs leadership.
Hey, Jason, let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. You said CP3 to Milwaukee. How has that worked for Clippers and for the Rockets?
Say again?
I said you mentioned CP3 going to Milwaukee, but how has that worked out for the Clippers and for the Rockets?
I think it worked out well. It got the Rockets to Game 7 against Golden State.
Do they have a championship? Negative. Do they have a championship?
CP3 helped guide the Rockets to Game 7 against the Warriors, and he helped a supposed rebuilding franchise get to Game 6 or 7, whatever it was in the Rockets playoffs.
I thought the goal was to get to the finals, not make it to the playoffs.
Goal, but he took a rebuilding franchise and made them first round heavyweight contenders.
Hey,
that's great. That's
question.
Great.
Hey,
won a championship. That doesn't matter. CP3 had not helped any team win a championship, so he can go to Milwaukee. But will that put them over the hump? It didn't put Blake Griffin over the hump. It didn't put DeAndre Jordan over the hump. It didn't put it didn't put the Rockets over the hump. So I like your CP3 take, but he hasn't had the best track record as far as elevating teams to that higher echelon of what it need to be.
Nah, listen. So there's one thing I gotta say real quick. Giannis is gonna leave, and that's gonna happen. He's gonna go to a team, form some type
Where
of.
does he go?
I don't even. I
That's
haven't,
the question.
I
That's
haven't
the
even.
question.
I haven't even thought about that enough to say this. But one thing I have
If
to
he goes
say.
to the Rockets, I'm not going to be mad.
That won't happen.
Well, this is all I gotta say about this. Every team in the West, they all got some type of super team. There's the people creating super teams. All I gotta say is one thing: the Heat and the Celtics have not created a super team. They both have. Jimmy Butler's on the Heat with Bam. Bam, he's great. You know, Tyler Hero, great. Goran Dragic, great. Then you got the Celtics, who are still rocking and riding with their rookies, and then they got Kemba in there.
Let me ask you a question, Eric.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one simple question. And it goes back to an earlier topic. How in the world, if the Celtics advance to the finals and the Lakers advance to the finals, which I really hope happens, and if that does happen, how in the world are y'all going to defend against those tall guys that the Lakers have? Because your Gordon Hayward may or may not be bad. So how are you going to
I'm
match?
not worried about Gordon Hayward.
Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about Marquise Smart, Tross. I think Smart is an overlooked guy. Go ahead for the Celtics. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, like you said, Marcus Smart, he can be put on anybody, I think, one-on-one in matchup. Obviously, he'll have trouble against Anthony Davis, things like that. Jaylen Brown's an incredible defender as well. We're not going to match up. We're not going to match up very well when it comes to bigs. Daniel Tice, Williams, aka Time Lord, and Enes Kanter, they'll have their work cut out for them. I'm not denying that, but like I said, man, if the Celtics want to push, run and gun, man, I don't think the Lakers can hang with them like that all game. That's why I think it'll go 7 games.
That's a hot take. I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said before, I got the Lakers in 7. I think Boston gonna put up a great fight, but they're just too young. I think they're 2 or 3 years removed from actually winning the finals, and by that time, the entire landscape of the NBA may be different from what we know it as. So let's head on to our next topic. Are the Nuggets for real? What can we expect from them in Game 7?
That's what I want to talk about.
Hey, you got it first, Jay. You got it first, Jay.
I gotta take it first. But before that, I just want to add real quick, Mike. I'm going for Celtics. I hate to tell you that. And between the Lakers and Celtics, I'm going Celtics because
Thank you, Jay. I love you.
Having said that, I'm gonna move on.
Hey, Nick brought up a good,
oh my God, the Nuggets!
Nick brought up a good point. Nick Eubanks said the rebound battle will be tough for the Celtics, and it will be, like you said. They got Williams still, but we got some trees. We got Dwight Howard. We got McGee. We got AD still.
Off as a bag of napkins. JaVale McGee.
Anyways,
which is what I was saying. I really hope Gordon Hayward does come back to the Celtics just to control the paint. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna get back to the Nuggets if I may. The Nuggets. Oh my Lord, came back from 19 points down. These guys just don't want to go away. The fight, the eye of the tiger. I'm going back to Rocky Balboa days. Eye of the tiger, baby. Eye of the tiger. They want this. Can Kawhi Leonard rise up? I don't think that the championship in which Toronto got is anywhere near the championship level or the game level or the attitude or the eagerness or the aggressiveness that the Nuggets want. And I said it once and I'll say it again. You can have all the talent in the world, but if the other team wants it more than you, they're going to take it. And I really feel like, and it's crazy to believe, but I feel like the Nuggets are going to be facing the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
I got something to say, but Eric, I'm going to give it to you first.
Well, this is the way I look at it. First of all, Kawhi Leonard, he won with the Toronto Raptors because of other people on the team as well. Kawhi Leonard is a great talent. He has not impressed me the way that people talk about him. People can come at my neck for that. I don't care.
The claw.
Paul George, man, is not. He's not impressive anymore. He can be, but the Joker, dude, he's flat out the hungriest and best center in the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. My boy Jay, he loves to talk about footwork. No other center's got some footwork like
Hey,
that.
repeat that again, Eric. Repeat that again. What'd you say?
Footwork. But what I'm saying though
No, that's true.
is, and you got Porter, man. Porter Jr. That's a whole nother intangible in itself, man. I don't see anybody stopping him too. And let's be real, Jamal Murray.
He's a redshirt rookie too. He's a redshirt rookie.
Jamal Murray. Let's be real, guys. He has dropped both Kawhi and Paul George. Arguably, people talk about the best defenders in the NBA. He dropped them both on their butts and looked at him. Jamal Murray is not scared of anybody.
The whole damn series goes through Paul George. If Paul George doesn't show up, it's a game over. If Paul George shows up and gets 30-some-odd points like he did against the Rockets, okay, I'll give it to him. But if he don't show up, which we all know Paul George may or may not show,
he's out to lunch without a sandwich, man, half the time. That dude doesn't – you can't have a guy to show up. You can't have him show up one game and then 5 games later show up again, and then people talking to you, oh, he's great.
I'm going to say this, right? So, Eric, 2 things. The first thing we want to elaborate on, but I think Toronto really showed us the true impact of Kawhi, because once he left and the Raptors were still balling out of control, but let's put a pin in that for next episode. This is my biggest point I want to make. Michael freaking Porter Jr. He is the X factor. And honestly, I think the Nuggets and the Lakers matchup will be the most exciting matchup for Western Conference Finals. But let's look at some stats for MPJ, right? 26 points per game, 9.3 rebounds per game, and 47.8% from three-point land with 1 block per game. That guy is freaking on fire.
Psycho.
The Nuggets will go as he goes. And honestly, he caught some flack recently because at a post-game interview, he's like, yeah, man, the offense just can't go through Murray and Joker. It needs to go through everybody. And he made a good point. You know, if a guy's on fire, keep feeding that man. MPJ has been on fire for most of these playoff games.
The thing about it I got to say about them is when he has over 25 and Jamal has over 25, Jamal is whatever 30, whatever he gets, that kid's a killer. And Joker has over 25. If Joker has 22 and like 12, and MP and Michael Porter, the old boy has 26, and Jamal has 30. I don't even see the Lakers beating them, to be honest with you.
I can't go that far, but what I will say is what's crazy is they don't even need the Joker to score. Joker, if all he did was rebound and pass the ball, they would be okay because MPJ and a Murray and a Harris combination is that potent on offense. That's how scary Denver could be, dude.
It's scary. How scary could be. It's scary. It's definitely a different basketball team out there, man. They are some hungry players. And the thing about Denver, though, is I feel like the Clippers think that everything is going to be given to them because of what they built in the offseason and how they're some type of super team and Kawhi won a championship. But let's not forget about the people that have everything to gain and nothing to lose. And when you think about that right now in the playoffs, man, that is the Nuggets, bro. And I hate to, I'm not just saying it because I'm a fan, but that's the Celtics too. And that's even Miami. But Denver is just nuts, man. And that's,
hey, you know what?
Nathan, is that 2 minutes left in the half or is that in the game? That sounds like a half, I hope.
Hey, Jason, I have a new question. It wasn't planned, but I got a question for you, both of you guys. It was a Kawhi question, but now it's a Miami Heat question. Do you think that the Miami Heat and the Celtics are kind of bringing back the old school feel to the game as far as having traditional lineups, you know, or even like not having a super team? Because like you said before, Eric, Miami has Butler, you got Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, you know, Duncan Robinson, and then you go to the Celtics, we got Jason Tatum, you got Brown, you got a good few role players, but you don't have a traditional super team. So do you guys feel like that's going to be the new wave moving forward, or do you think that super teams are here to stay and that's the new wave?
Honestly, man, I think super teams are going to come and go. I really do believe that because at the end of the day, I think that people are going to love to play with people that they've started to play with from their rookie years, and they're going to form relationships. And I feel like people are going to gel and mesh better because the way Tatum and Jaylen Brown have both said they don't want to play with anybody else besides each other. And those two dudes both being drafted by the Celtics, they love playing together. You know, they stick together and they are the yin and yang, man. They really, really, really complement each other on the court. And it's hard to find that. So these super teams, man, they don't always work. Look at Russell Westbrook and the Rockets, man. I'm sorry, but that's just a nightmare, man. That's a nightmare. You have Russell Westbrook and James Harden on one team, bro. Like, what?
And it's crazy that the Rockets couldn't have done more. But before I forget, hey, so we spoke about, us being called the Whiskey Hour, but it's a more important aspect to our show that we try to touch on every episode. So in case you guys at home don't know, all of us are military veterans. I'm currently serving active duty at Fort Drum. Me and Jay served together back at Fort Stewart. And Eric, he's a veteran as well. And I promise you, none of this was planned. I kind of put out a memo on Facebook saying, hey, I want to start a new show. Who wants to help me? And Jason and Eric were the first guys to really jump at the idea and the chance. And it started off as my own brainchild, but really it evolved into something more impactful. So Jason and Eric, talk to the viewers at home about your guys' military career briefly.
Man, well, I spent my military career at Fort Drum in the infantry with 287, and spent some time in Afghanistan. And I've always loved sports, and upon getting out, I stayed up here, and I don't know why I did, but I do kind of like it up here. And I met Phil through playing football and basketball. So there's a lot of men's leagues out here and stuff like that. It's surprising how much football we play here on the weekends, but that's how I met Phil, and he put it out there, and that's it. And then I met Jay through it all, and we all serve and love the same purpose, and that's our country and the people among us,
Amen.
All right, so here's goes. Sergeant First Class Freddie Dowdell, currently serving in Afghanistan, no longer as a military person, but as a contractor, DOD, Special Forces. I love you, man. You're my mentor for life, and I hope you come home safe. I have 3 other friends of mine that I served with in the 101st 3rd Brigade Rakkasans. I hope you guys that are deployed over there, 2 are in Afghanistan, 1's in Iraq. I really pray for you every night, and I hope you come home safe and you defend exactly what we all live for day by day, and that's our personal freedoms to do whatever it is the hell we want to do.
Exactly. And that's not to underscore, we have love for everybody, in the federal sector, the military, the civilian sector. Yeah. But we just also have a special place in our hearts for those who make the ultimate sacrifice every single day, because it's not an easy job. And we didn't sign up for it because we thought it would be easy, but we wanted to give ourselves a chance at freedom, So big hats to the military, big hats to everyone supporting the military.
One more thing.
We love everybody.
One more thing, and to close out this part of my segment of this conversation is, number one, yes, I was prior military. Yes, I'm combat veteran certified. But my boy up there, Eric, he's also combat certified. I love him to death. He's my brother for life, and he knows that. And thirdly, to my boy Tross, who's still active. People don't know that stuff. Tross ain't here as a civilian. He's here as an active duty serviceman. Tross, I love you. My brother, you're my brother. We've been through deep stuff, and you've bailed me out of a lot of things, and I love you, and I praise you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I love everybody.
I love y'all too. Hey, let's get on to our last segment of the NBA. What is next for the Houston Rockets coaching vacancy? As you all know, right? Yeah, your boy Jason. Your boy stepped down. He wasn't asked to leave, well, maybe behind closed doors. I don't know.
Nah, but Jay wanted him to step down. We talked about this the other night.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm not even going to touch the question. Jason, I'm going to let you kill this one. You go ahead.
Please let me do that.
You tell us what happened.
Hey, listen, guys. I never really.
Can I just say 2 words real quick?
Go ahead. Go, Eric, go.
Sam Cassell.
Thank you. He's on my list. Hey, listen, man. I'm glad. D'Antoni, hey, you're a great guy. You're great for about 2 rounds of playoffs. But when it comes to ultimately getting there in the end, you're just not the guy. And I wish you the best wherever it is you may go. However, Anaconda, baby, I'm hoping several coaches come here. Yes, to your mention, Sam Cassell, Clutch City.
Yep.
Clutch City, baby. Bring back Sam Cassell. I loved him in the beginning, in the first place, when he looked like the egg guy from E.T. 55 at the half. Thanks, Nate. But here's the other few. Donovan, Van Gundy, Jason Kidd, Ty Lue. These are all guys that are tied into this conversation. Juwan Howard at Michigan says he's not coming back to the NBA. But I could see kind of Juwan Howard, man. He's got some pedigree in him.
Nope.
Mark Jackson. But you know, people out there they're overlooking is Dave, and I know I'm gonna say this guy's name wrong because he's got a hard thing. It's Joerger, Joerger. Joerger. He's with the Nuggets currently, but this guy, Doc Rivers and Eric Spoelstra, have both said that this guy is extremely hard to game plan around, and I wouldn't mind having that guy on my team. If you're a guy that can put a good game plan together and you can do the right things. All right, I'll take James Joerger, but Sam Cassell, I'm also there too.
Hey, you know what's really cool though? If you think about it too, man, I think it's gonna be Sam Cassell. I think Sam Cassell would be a great asset and a great coach there because I think he would run the ball a lot. There'd be a lot of movement in the offense. I believe that, and he's from an era where defense is first, so I feel like they would not slack on that. And we all know that Houston needs a lot of help on defense. But you know what would be awesome? You know, it'd be a great thing, man. I thought about it today, and I seen it on ESPN, and I thought to myself, God bless, that would be funny. Kenny the Jet Smith.
Stop it! Shut your mouth.
Hey, hold up, man. Hold up. I'm gonna have to step in for this one, man.
Hold on.
I'm only saying that because
I've got you. Here's the reason why, Eric. Before you said that, I was about to ask you if I could step in and say, you know who I thought might be good as well as Kenny Smith, even more than Sam Cassell, because of all of the analytical stuff that he does. And the fact that you said Kenny Smith further cements in my mind, maybe Kenny Smith is the right guy.
Maybe our minds think alike.
You guys know my spiel, man. I don't know who the next coach should be. There's a ton of great candidates out there, but I'm just not partial to players turned coaches. I know the NBA is littered with that throughout the history of the sport, obviously, but like first time coaches as players, I'm not a fan of that. You know, we all want to look at Steve Kerr as like the model for how a player should become a coach, but Steve Kerr inherited the Golden State freaking Warriors, right? He inherited Steph, Clay, Draymond.
He got too much help.
Thank you. To this day, I can't tell you if Steve Kerr is a good coach or not. I promise you, I can't tell you that because he's playing with a team that can coach themselves. Golden State can literally coach themselves.
If Jason Kidd would have gone to the Golden State Warriors,
you're right.
Jason Kidd right now.
You know what? I will say this though. Jason Kidd does not get enough credit for the development. He doesn't get enough credit for the development of Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was the first one to put the ball in his hand and say, "Nah, Giannis is my point guard." He really helped sped up the growth and the potential of Giannis. But outside of that, I'm just not a fan of first time players becoming coaches, man. They don't have enough experience on that side of the ball for me.
Well, that's exactly. I mean, like I said, I want Kenny Smith just because Clutch City. But I did tell you earlier. But the guy was talking about Dave Djorkovic. Listen, the guy's with the Denver Nuggets right now. We know where the Denver Nuggets are going. But I'm telling you, when Doc Rivers and Eric Spoelstra, two very well-decorated coaches in the league right now, tell you, and they both got NBA championships, that they have a hard time game planning around this guy, why not give him the opportunity, right?
What you got, Eric?
I don't trust anything Eric Spoelstra says.
Wait a minute. Why? Why do you say that? You can't just say elaborate, please. And we don't have a little bit of time, so make it fast.
I'm gonna elaborate. Ask the question. When he won the championship, who do you have in his teams?
Okay, we'll follow up with that in episode 3.
Hey, so we got roughly 12 minutes left. We're heading over to our rapid fire debate style questionnaire where we have 5 questions. You get 2 minutes. You get a minute apiece, 1 minute for Jason, 1 minute for Eric. We got 2 minutes per topic to tell me your thoughts and your opinions on it. So first, in their prime, who would win in the fight between Evander Holyfield and Muhammad Ali? Jason, you got 1 minute.
I'm going to go with Evander Holyfield, and I know I'm going to rub a lot of fingers the wrong way, but Evander Holyfield had power, skills, IQ. I mean, the guy had every single thing. You can't have a waist at his height and shoulders at that width and not be pound for pound one of the best. Now, Muhammad Ali was great. No doubt about it. But Evander brought in a new school of boxing. He's fast. He's quick. He's strong. And he's determined. End of story.
Eric.
I'm only going to need 10 seconds real quick. One word. Endurance. Secondly, Muhammad Ali all day. Case closed. Next.
All I'm gonna say is this: float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. But hey, next question: how does Deshaun Watson's contract affect Dak Prescott moving forward? We all know Mahomes reset the entire freaking market with $500 million, right? So now Watson, he came through with a shorter deal, a more team-friendly deal that kind of really helps him out as well. So by the time this contract ends, he's still in his prime in order to get a new and more friendlier contract. So Eric, what do you think?
Perfect. And you know what even makes it even better is it affects Dak because it still proves that, well, it doesn't affect Dak, actually. You want to know what affects Dak? Is Dak will never get the Deshaun Watson money or Pat Mahomes money, because the sure example was on Sunday when he played the Rams. That's what, and that's how, and the only way it'll affect his contract. No, Deshaun Watson's contract affects Dak Prescott because Dak is not the player Deshaun is, and that he will never be that. He'll never be that. Continue.
Jay.
Dearly beloved, we gathered here today to end the end of Eric's podcast career. No, listen, I'm just teasing you. I love Eric. Listen, guys,
I hate that
bull crap all day long. Use the Rams on Dak. Hell nah. You got to put that on McCarthy going for it on fourth when he could have tied it up. And you also, no, you just can't do that. Dak played a good game. He honestly played a really good game, and there's no way you can do that. I'm going to tell you right now, does Deshaun Watson, thank you. I got combobulated. Does Deshaun Watson's contract affect Dak's? Yeah, of course it does. Because Deshaun was really smart. Deshaun got $40 million. Deshaun got $40 million. Please, Eric, you're killing me here, man. Deshaun Watson got $40 million damn dollars, and he did it at a very short years. So that means he's gonna get even more money next go around. So I think he did it better than Patrick Mahomes, right? He's gonna get more money than Pat will get.
Nope.
Pat did 10 years.
Nope.
So hold up. So this is what I'll say, right? Go ahead, Jay. My bad. Go ahead.
Dak has to go up against contracts, and he says Deshaun did what he did, and I'm playing what I'm playing. If he continues to play at the level at which he's playing, which Dak is playing at a good level. This is not. Yes, yeah. How do you figure that, Jake?
Hold up,
I'll
Jay.
take you on 20 for Sunday. Tell me how Dak cost him that win, and I'll shut the hell up.
Can we just back up the train? You just said that you think Dak Prescott is going to make Patrick Mahomes money.
Thank you. I'm caught up on that still.
I'm a huge Dak Prescott fan, and I'm not that stupid.
I'm saying Dak will make the same amount of money as Deshaun will get, because he's going to play.
You didn't say Deshaun. You said Patrick.
If I said Patrick, I apologize. I said the wrong name. You know what? I really like Jake.
Hey, you know what? Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. That makes a little bit more sense. But hold up, because y'all guys buried that to the ground. I got to get my 30-second sense in first.
Yeah,
all right. Dak, does he deserve more money than Watson? No. And the reason why, Eric said it best. He's not the same caliber player. For instance, he played a great game. He played a good game, right? But a great player, a Patrick Mahomes player, a Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson kind of player, a Deshaun Watson kind of player, a Drew Brees, Tom Brady, a Cam Newton, they can elevate past bad coaching. They can elevate past the porous defense. But that's all we got. Next question. Is the use of replay killing sports? Eric. Ooh.
I think it is.
How?
Only in certain circumstances. The reason being is because I think the replay in the NBA has really ruined that in a sense. It's starting to ruin the NBA because it's the NBA is played very soft, and it's driving me nuts lately. Secondly, in the NFL, I think it's needed at times, but at the same time, I feel like if a call is made, that's it. Case closed. Obviously, it's blatant and but I don't know. I just feel like sports went on for so many years without it, and now all it does is just make giant crybabies. I don't know.
To your basketball point, I have a more simplistic look at that. Honestly, to me, basketball is just too fast-paced of a sport, right? I think as it was before instant replay.
Yeah, of course, I agree with that too.
It was fine, but the pace of basketball is too fast, right? It wasn't meant to be slowed down by replays. But anyway, Jason, what you got?
All right, so we're talking about is replaying killing the game? Yeah, it's killing the damn game. It's making it computerized.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm old school. I'm not a millennial. I don't understand how to operate.
Hey, hold up. You gonna
computer.
stop crushing us millennials, Jason. I'm getting tired of you crushing us millennials, all right?
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't
I'm-
understand how to operate a computer, much less tell you anything else. But I do know this.
I'm Gen
tired
X.
of seeing- hold on. What I'm tired of seeing is computer gods correcting the human error. I'm sorry. I like the human error in NFL. I do. And let me tell you something. This is coming from a guy who, with the Houston Oilers, watched Billy White Shoes Johnson get a touchdown, which would have sent the Oilers into the Super Bowl past the Steelers. But because they didn't have replay back then, it wasn't shown as a touchdown. But when a replay came in, they replayed it. It was shown that it was a touchdown. I'm sorry. Sometimes I understand everybody wants to be accurate. We got to be so accurate. We got to be inches within seconds and millimeters and all this crazy stuff. I don't understand. But I understand old school football and the power of love. And let's just keep it organic.
So pretty much, to make Jason's long story short, he hates the replay. and we got 2 topics left. Let's keep it fast, y'all. We got 2 topics left. All right. What is the greatest individual rivalry? Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas? Go, Jason.
Jordan, Isaiah Thomas.
Why? Real quick.
Why? Because it was the mean bad boys of Detroit going up against one of the greatest that ever played the game, and those guys just got dirty.
Hey, Dustin, I'm trying to keep him under control, but he's just too long-winded for me, Dustin. I'm trying. Eric, what you got?
Man, I hate this question because it's so hard.
You better come up quick.
The Brady Manning, that's not a greatest individual rivalry because Brady just whatever, he'll destroy that all day. Jordan Thomas, I love the Magic Bird, but I got to go with Jordan Thomas because there was true hatred between the two.
That's what I'm saying. Dirty.
There was some psychiatric crap there, man. That was some crazy shit.
And you know what? We honestly can't even count a Michael Jordan rivalry with anybody because Jordan, he'll create his own rivalry. Oh, yeah. He said hey to me. I'm dropping 45.
And that's the next question. We still got Exos.
You know what I'm saying? So you breathe wrong on Jordan, and it's over with. He's got a rivalry.
Jordan's like, you wore red shoes today to the game. I hate
it's over with.
Game over.
Hey, last question for our rapid fire debate. Which was a more surprising victory to you? The Washington football team or the Jacksonville Jaguars? Eric, what you got?
Washington all day. But it really wasn't too surprising. Either the games weren't too surprising, but it was for Washington. But I mean, I'm happy it happened because I hate Carson Wentz. I hate the Eagles. I hate everything about him, minus my boy Jalen Hurts. So it helps me because Jalen Hurts will be starting in week 4. I promise. Watch.
Yeah, I'll give about 2 weeks. Jay, what you got?
Man, I'm going the same thing with him, Washington, only because Haskins had a QBR of 26.2 and Jacksonville Jaguars basically had a fire sale on every person that was valuable on their team. But in Gardner Minshew, we trust.
Yeah,
and I will tell you this. That's the only reason why I say Washington, because of the level of competition they went against, takes it for me.
Check this out, right? I am not an Ohio State fan, even though I recognize that the Saints are pretty much like New Orleans and Ohio State combined, all the players we get from Ohio. But you got to show Haskins some love, man. He was thrown into one between him and Josh Rosen. I don't know who's been given a tougher break, right? Haskins was drafted by a team that didn't want him. His coach got fired halfway through the season. It was an entire shit show, right? He was a rookie. I expect a rookie who only played 1 full season in college to struggle. So for the fact for him to bounce back the way he did, I had the utmost respect, and I love the way he carried himself in that team victory that he won. So I got to give it to Washington as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up the Whiskey Hour podcast. Thank you guys again for stopping by and vibing with us. This was week 2, or should I say episode 2 of the Whiskey Hour podcast, as brought to you by the Game Changer Sports Network. I'm your host, Big Phil, the resident Laker fan. We got my man Eric Logsdon, the resident Boston fan, and Jason at the bottom of your screen, the resident Rockets fan, I guess we could say that.
Cowgirls fan.
But say bye to the people, y'all.
2 seconds. Hey, Dak Prescott ran for 30 and ran for 256.